Today, we are digging into a truly terrifying story about a family that's basically held hostage by a creature that only comes out in the dark. Their only defense? A light switch. But you're about to find out that the most dangerous thing in this house, it isn't the ghost at all.
This right here, this is a warning from the family's mother, Roshni. And you can just feel it, right? That isn't just fear in her voice. It's resignation. Like she knows it's a fact. But why? Why is she so sure this nightmare is never, ever going to end? That's where we start.
And this lays it all out perfectly. They're basically fighting a war on two fronts. You've got the supernatural threat that lives in the shadows, sure, but you've also got this secret, this poison that's buried right inside their own family. So how do you live through something like that? Well, this family has it down to a science. Every single night is a ritual, a strict set of rules they have to follow if they want to see the sun come up.
Now look at these rules. They make perfect sense, right? Every light on, everything's sealed tight before dark. The kids, Avni and Aman, they are like soldiers about this. But here's the really strange part. Their own mother, Roshni, is constantly breaking the #1 rule. She sits alone in the dark. It's like she isn't afraid, or maybe a part of her actually prefers it there.
And then, bam, their worst nightmare comes true. A light bulb in Aman's room just dies. And in that one moment of darkness, the entity is on him. It's choking him, trying to kill him. So this isn't some spooky story anymore. This thing is real, and it is deadly. You'd think after an attack like that, the family would band together, right? Nope. Roshni's reaction makes absolutely no sense. She tells her kids to run, to just leave her there and get out of the house. She keeps saying the entity won't hurt her. So you have to wonder, is she trying to protect her kids, or is she protecting the thing in the dark?
Well, that bizarre reaction leads to a massive confrontation. Her daughter, Avni, just can't take it anymore and demands to know what her mother is hiding.
And the secret? It's just heartbreaking. Turns out years ago, Roshni survived cancer, but the treatment left her with this extreme condition where any light was agony. She had to live for a year and a half in what they called a safe house, which was basically a place of total absolute darkness. And in there, completely cut off from the world, her only friend was another patient named Jenny. Their entire friendship was built in the pitch black. So when Roshni was finally cured and could leave, Jenny was just destroyed. Sometime later, Roshni gets the horrible news that Jenny ran away from the safe house and died, burned alive by the very sunlight that Roshni was now free to enjoy.
And that's when it all clicks for Avni. The haunting, it didn't start randomly. It started right after Jenny died. She remembers their dad, who passed away, was also looking into all this strange stuff. So she and Aman decide they have to find his research. Maybe he found some answers.
And they find it. Tucked away is their father's diary, a detailed record of his own terrifying investigation. The same investigation that might have gotten him killed. And the very first sentence they read just changes everything. Their dad gave the ghost a name, Jenny, and he doesn't call her a ghost. He calls her a vampire. But hold on, his notes make it clear she's not your classic, everyday vampire. Let's break down the differences. Vampires usually have to be invited in, right? Jenny is already inside the house. Vampires have one coffin they always go back to. Jenny switches up her hiding spot every single day. And here's the biggest one. Sunlight weakens vampires. But for Jenny, it's any light. A tragic, twisted version of the real-life illness that killed her. And this is the discovery that flips their whole world upside down. All that time, they were sealing the windows and locking the doors to keep her out, but they weren't. They were locking themselves in with her. She never leaves. So now they have a weapon, knowledge. If Jenny is always in the house, that means during the day, when she's resting, she's vulnerable. So Avni comes up with a plan. It's time to hunt the hunter.
Okay, so their dad's diary gives them this brilliant 4-step plan. First, they have to make it dark inside during the day, so they cover all the windows. That's the only way to see the traces Jenny leaves behind. Step 2, they use UV flashlights to find her footprints. The diary says the darkest marks are the newest. Step 3, follow those tracks to find where she's hiding. And then, step 4, hit her with the most powerful light they can possibly find.
So what exactly are these UV traces? Think of them like supernatural fingerprints. Jenny's energy leaves this invisible residue that you can only see under a black light. And the diary even explains that the darker the stain, the more recent it is. It's a perfect tracking device.
So they start where she last attacked, in Aman's room. They flick on the UV lights, and sure enough, there's a path of glowing footprints leading out the door, down the hallway, and it stops cold at a tiny forgotten little door right under the staircase. They found her.
And here we go. The final confrontation. They know where Jenny is. They have a plan. Now it's time to finish this once and for all.
But Avni is smart. She realizes her dad probably tried to face Jenny at night, when she was at full power. That was his mistake. So Avni doesn't just swing the door open. No, she goes to the window closest to the hiding spot, rips down the coverings, and lets a huge, bright beam of sunlight pour right into that area. She's weaponizing the day itself.
So, they've set the stage. The trap is ready. They've found the creature's lair. The only question is, what exactly is behind that little door? What does a creature like this even sleep in?
They open the door, and inside, it's just a plain wooden box. Nothing special. Since Jenny couldn't go back to a real grave, she chose this dark, cramped little space to be her coffin.
And this is how fast it happened. Avni and Aman, they drag the box out into that beam of sunlight, and they wrench the lid open. The diary was right. The moment direct sunlight hits her, Jenny's form just disintegrates into ash. It takes maybe a few seconds. And just like that, it's over.
But the story doesn't really end on a high note. It ends with their mother, Roshni, just weeping over this pile of ash. Because for her, that wasn't a monster. That was her friend. And this was the second time she'd been forced to lose her. The second time her friend was taken from her by the light. It really makes you wonder, who was the real ghost in this house all along?